Sports Corner, the ultimate spot for sports enthusiasts and scholars alike. Join Coach Dennis and Coach Toye every Monday, 12 noon to 1 p.m. for a thrilling hour of sports action. And don't miss the repeat broadcast on Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. On Soccer Sports Corner. We believe that academics and sports go hand in hand. Tune in to Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7 FM for a thrilling hour of entertainment, education, and inspiration. Soccer Sports Corner, to be the best that I can be.
Last Tuesday, the Super Eagles brought great relief to the land when they trounced Benin Republic by 4-0. And the entire country was enwrapped in this feeling of ecstasy. It was a great performance. But before the last two matches, not too many people were hopeful that such would happen. But one man stuck out his neck promoting Nigeria's victory and Nigeria's eventual qualification. Well, it has not fully happened yet, but the man is here and he will tell us again what made him so optimistic and if he still thinks Nigeria will go all the way. Also, technically, the team played very well, better than they had done, before, and enough to give us fresh hope now that, the tide may change. And today I have one of the players that took us to that first World Cup qualification, and he'll be joining us from his base in Warri. So you got to sit back and listen and watch, a great show this morning. And the audience can participate also, those listening and those watching via our YouTube channel. The telephone number that you will call later in the show is 0700 2255 1037. And there's a second number, 081 27 828497. I hear also that there's a WhatsApp number. Well, I'll give it just in case I manage technically to be able to connect. It's 0706 7280732. Those are the three numbers that you can call and reach us. If you send a WhatsApp message, actually, I think I'll be able to get it now. I'm improving with my tech. Okay? So we'll go on a short promotional break. And when we come back, it will be time for my editorial this morning. A very interesting topic. When disappointment becomes a blessing for the Super Eagles. And that you can find in 4 national newspapers, including Vanguard, Guardian, Complete Sports, and Niger Times. The last 2 are online. And you can go out and buy those newspapers now, if you like, or after the show, so that you can have a copy. Anyway, we'll be rebroadcasting this program tomorrow at 2 p.m. And of course, you will be on YouTube and other social media platforms immediately after the show. Right now, we are being streamed live, so you can also join us. So I'll be back after this short break.
Your one-stop sports entertainment radio station for all your information, news, and entertainment. Keep it locked on Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7. We got you covered. Now,
Super Eagles. When disappointment becomes a blessing. Hold on to these 2 universal truths. 1. Never curse the darkness. Hidden within it are treasures. 2. Behind every disappointment is a blessing. With their backs against the wall, the Super Eagles finally broke out of their shells to reveal the faint outlines of an emerging new team made for the immediate future. It will, however, take a new process to hone and mature the team into greatness. The elements have conspired again to lay out that essential process for the team. 2 challenging phased playoffs and the African Cup of Nations in between. I therefore say congratulations to Nigeria, not only for the victory of last Tuesday night in Uyo, well earned, or even for the divinely constructed narrow escape, Nigeria's last-minute goal, but also for the new route now carved out by the playoffs to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. On the surface of things, the new route appears long and strewn with difficult matches and tough opponents. But for those that can look beneath the surface, these may be a better and a more beneficial pathway to the World Cup and into the matches. I am reminded of 1993 in many ways. I was both an eyewitness and an active participant in the drama of that period leading to USA 94. Nigerian players were on the first flood to the European leagues. Many were just settling down to big-time professional football. The technical advisor, as the manager was referred to then, Clemens Westerhoff, was an ordinary Dutch coach with no solid credentials at the highest levels. He was supported by former international players as assistants, Christian Chukwu, Bitrus Bewarang. After a few years of initial failures, Clemens started to get a hang of things. He discovered the strength of Nigerian players and how to motivate and get the best out of them. The Green Eagles had plenty of training time and friendly matches to play towards the campaigns of the African Cup of Nations in Tunisia, qualification for the World Cup, and the World Cup proper in the USA. Finally, and most importantly, there was a good mix of a few older players and several emerging young and very exciting players in the team in that period. All of these were the perfect recipe for building the superb team of the 1993-1994 era. These are the ingredients and opportunities that the current Super Eagles did not have until what has started to emerge now. I see a good team finally being birthed with the opportunity to blend the players and make them a functional machine through the 2-phased World Cup qualifying playoffs and the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, following back to back. By the way, in 1993, I was embedded in the national team as the team manager, a tag for the person responsible for the welfare of the players in the setup of those days. After me, there was only one other team manager, Chief Mike Ume, before the position was scrapped. My role then was simple: to ensure that the players' basic needs were met without fuss: allowances, travel arrangements, bonuses, any logistics, kits, and arranging all their official social engagements. As a former captain of the team, I was accepted and respected by the players. What happened this past week reminds me of that build-up to the 1994 World Cup. How the Nigerian environment started to throw up superb players. How the Eagles started to understand each other better. How the team learned to play with an outstanding center forward in Rashidi Yekini, a gentle giant in the Nigerian team that took care of all aerial battles in Uche Okechukwu, a superb defensive midfield general covering for the central defense area in Sunday Olise, super wingers on both flanks with more to spare in Finidi Amunike, and a very flexible, creative, and mobile midfield of Oliha, Okocha, Siasia, and Amokachi. I'm looking back at last Tuesday's match and seeing a reincarnation of 1993 in Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, Olakunle Olusegun. Watch out for that young speed star into the future. Calvin Bassey, Benjamin Frederick, Ola Aino, Onyeka, Olokodare as a super sub, and a few others that are set to form the core of a new team that will manage to navigate the first playoff, then go all the way in Morocco in January 2026 while putting up a great show, then get to the final of the second and more difficult continental playoffs, qualify and finally land at the World Cup, play very well at that World Cup stage, and go very far. That's my dream. All of this will be possible with the anticipated impact of a few key players joining or maturing in the team. There's nothing to do about the coach. He will be left to complete the assignment. There's no problem with the welfare of the players because the government of President Bola Tinubu has more than demonstrated willingness to open the country's vaults to meet the team's every need. The team will still need some technical tweaking of some players and positions. The coach cannot afford to be sentimental with hard decisions. One very important position that is getting to me personally is that those safe pair of hands are absent. Finally, had the Eagles qualified easily through the African qualifiers, the team's preparation would never have demanded the same bouquet of challenges that getting to the World Cup through this difficult path now presents. This seemingly long process and all the earlier disappointments may become blessings in disguise to make us work hard at discovering the hidden treasures that lie in the dark periods of the past few years. I am convinced that this new course is the best preparation for the Super Eagles to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. They have to carefully and strategically navigate the playoffs and arrive the championship as one of the most prepared teams, using the preparations and the matches of the playoffs to become a solid team that will peak just before the World Cup. That is my interpretation, my expectation, my hope, and my dream. I pray I am right.
Mathematical 7. Oh yes, what time? 7:30 a.m. on the dot. Where? Of course it's Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station, 103.7 FM, terrestrial radio, and of course on our social media platforms. What's it about? It's a full range of sports and entertainment. Oh yes, what a complete package of goodness. We're doing this for you, our superb listeners. You're going to be astounded. Now you may ask me, what's on offer? There will be incredulous stories written by Mathematical 7, stories from his archives, and exclusive live and recorded conversations with sports personalities from around the world. Not only this, we will take a deep look into sports issues in Africa and beyond. This is the dot to dot, where once you connect the dots, you get the full picture of this new, exciting program. As usual, there's going to be great music from Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station, 103.7 FM. Come on, set your dial to this frequency. Stay tuned to Eagle 7 Sports Radio Station 103.7 FM. What's debuting every Saturday? It's Mathematics
Radio 103.7 FM. Make una dey listen to Ramo.
Yeah, welcome back. Well, that was my editorial this morning, and you can find that in the Vanguard, Guardian, Complete Sports, Niger Times, the last two online. And of course, later, after the show, later today, it will be on all social media platforms. And so it will be available for you wherever. This is Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM, reaching you from Wasimi near Abeokuta in Ogun State. I hope you are enjoying the show so far. Yes, my guests are here. I can see the editor of our Moments newspaper. He's looking not so confident this morning, but if you can hear me, I see you are putting on a smile now. This your belly now, wow. You this man, you are so comfortable and so rich.
I've been eating well, sir.
Yes,
eating well.
Yes, I know.
Because of the Super Eagles victory on Tuesday. I've been eating well.
Very good. Well done. And of course, I have Edema Fuludu, former Super Eagles player, great legend, and from his base in Warri. Oh, he's in his car. I see that he's even driving. I don't know where he's heading to. But if you can hear me, good morning.
Good morning, MON. Chego Degbami of Eagle 7. I greet you righteously from Waf.
Very good. I hope that by the time we come to our proper conversation, you would park somewhere and so on, so we can have a clean conversation.
No wahala, I'm with you.
Okay. Good morning once again. Well, let us start with Dr. David Olanrewaju, the man who has spread optimism all over Nigeria. And for the first time, not only was he making so much noise about his views and his prophecies in his own newspaper, but he's in every newspaper. You find him in the Punch, in the Nation, in this, in that. Everybody was carrying his story because of the power of optimism. And so I welcome you once again. And I want to quote you. You said, despite all pessimism, cynicism, apathy, and so on, you have been halfly proven right and now vindicated. So tell us about the last Nigerian match, how you felt, what happened, before I will now come and ask you if all of that spirit still carries on beyond now. So tell us about your feelings about the last two matches. I've read bits and pieces of it, particularly about goalkeeper Nwabili. But tell us, the last two matches that Nigeria played.
Yes, the Nigeria Super Eagles have improved tremendously in their last two matches, and I know a lot of people are happy about that. So I'm somebody who believes in good things, and I always believe that in life anything can happen. When I first came here about a month ago on this studio, on this station, and I was saying that Nigeria will still qualify, people were apathetic about it. They thought it would not be possible. But how would we do it? Well, I had that feeling, and I still have the feeling that in football especially, I've been a soccer fan for so many years, for decades. I've seen things change within a twinkle of an eye. So I had, and I still have strong feelings about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and I believe then that they will qualify. And I've been, although they've not actually qualified, but I've been proving right actually now, and I believe so much that fully in March next year, I will still come back to this studio, to this same station, and tell Nigerians, didn't I tell you that this Super Eagles will qualify? Their last match was a great improvement on their past matches. It was a great improvement. And a lot of people argued with me then that, okay, if actually we will qualify, we need too many goals. This is a team that has not been scoring. They've not scored more than 1 or 2 goals in all the previous 9 matches. How do you expect them to now score 3, 4, 5 goals in their last match? It's practically impossible. And I said, even my friends argued. I told them that this thing can happen. These players know what is at stake now. They know this is their last chance. They can make it happen. I gave examples of Senegal 92 when Nigeria was trying to qualify for Senegal 92. We were in the same group with Ghana. The great Ghana, Blasan Abedi Pele was at its peak at that time. He was the African Footballer of the Year in 1991. He was playing for Olympic Marseille. And Ghana had other fantastic players like Tony Bafo, Tony Yeboah, Edward Dancer, and so on. They came to Lagos and played 0-0 with us. So we needed the last match against Burkina Faso to qualify. If we had lost the match, we would not be in Senegal 92. And the Super Eagles have not been scoring fine through like just this, our current Super Eagles. Then what happened? 7-1 against Burkina Faso at the National Stadium in 1991, July 1991 to be precise, and we qualified for Senegal 93. I also give another example of Korea Japan 2002. We were trailing Liberia by 5 points, and we had only 3 matches to go. What happened? That miracle in Nigeria's team surfaced again. And before you know it, we went to Sudan, beat Sudan 4-0. I remember Yakubu Ayibili scoring 2 out of those goals. Sudan away, 4-0. Then we came to Lagos, beat Ghana, beat Liberia. And before you know it, we qualified. In fact, it's one of the things that the great George Weah of Liberia have not understood it today. He didn't understand how it happened. So I gave those 2 examples, but people were still not people were still apathetic about the Eagles qualifying, and I told them that we can still make it. That all hopes is not lost. What I've discovered as a soccer fan is that in football you don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Anything can happen at any time. In football, anything can happen at any time. And that's what happened on Tuesday. Super Eagles got rejuvenated. They got recharged. And they massacred Benin Republic 4-0. How many people believe that could happen? But it has happened. Now, we are 1 leg in North America right now. We have 2 matches to play. In Africa, we are playing Gabon in Morocco next month in November, and I believe we can beat them. It's a 1-leg affair, just 1 match. Then after that, we meet either DR Congo or Cameroon. We can beat them. Then before we go on, so it's a long, arduous process, but I'm very confident.
Okay.
That this Super Eagles, having escaped that death, quote and unquote, they will qualify for the World Cup.
Okay. Let's go to Edema now. The man who was part of probably the greatest assembly of national team players Nigeria has ever had. that assembly that, started in 1991 or so and ended up in 1996. That was a great assembly of Super Eagles players. And somehow, Edema Fuludu was part of them. And I would just like to know, what is it about you, these Super Eagles, I'm part of you too in a way. What is it? You just listen to Dr. Olanrewaju there. And he was telling us how the Eagles would always just come back from the dead. Their backs against the wall, and they would perform. Were you surprised at what happened, the last two matches against Lesotho and Benin Republic, and that Super Eagles managed to get us onto this new route? Edema?
Yes, you can hear me very well, right?
We can hear you. I wish we could see your face too.
I will do that in a few minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
Clear, because, yes, to be sincere, a lot of Nigerians, including myself, did so on the Eagles up to the time they had to play against Benin. But most essentially, when we defeated Lesotho, there was a glimmer of hope. These present Super Eagles have been such that when you expect them to deliver, they don't just deliver. And people begin to wonder, the caliber of players we have. We have African Player of the Year. How many of them involved? 2 in the Nigerian team. Why can't we just, run through all the qualifiers without a hitch? And then people started buying calculators, solving simultaneous equations, solving quadratic equations, and all forms of mathematical. So it didn't depend on us at the point. It depended on others. And that was the irony of it, that we needed to qualify for a World Cup in a way that we never expected. And then suddenly there was hope. Because now it is in our hands, not in the hands of any other person, not in the hands of South Africa or Lesotho or Benin or whoever, but in our own hands now. And I want to commend the team behind the team. Most times when teams succeed like this, it is because there's a lot of psychology, there's a lot of work behind the scene. And they have made it possible for us to get to this level. I'm believing that, to make sure that we have gotten this far, then we are one leg in, like my friend said, one leg in the World Cup and one leg out. But Gabon, Cameroon, why not? We should be able to dispatch them. But my fear again is that when we think that we want to do it, that's when we have issues. So is it that I'm going to feel that in my mind, or just say publicly that, no, we don't believe in these boys, and then they surprise us, or I believe in them and then they fail me? But I'm hoping that with the last 2 games they played, with the vigor, with the favor, with the strength, with the adrenaline pumped in, with the superlative performance, yes, we should be making it there. And let us be consistent. That is the only thing I beg this current Super Eagles to do for us. Consistency will make it work for us. And going to the World Cup, I'm sure also that they have been spoken to a lot. Look, if we don't go to this World Cup, what happens to Osimhen and Lookman and a whole lot of them the next 4 years? They may not be making the World Cup because of their ages. This is just the right time for them, and they had to put in all they had to put in. So kudos to them for what they did, especially in Uyo, for the 4 goals. So the miracle working God of soccer could just be a Nigerian.
Well, Edema, what I remember very clearly, one that even in your time, before you people finally metamorphosed into a team, we had a lot of good players. Even in your own team, we had a lot of good players. And you were not doing well too as a team. We had great individual players, but we were not doing well too as a team until you had the opportunity in that spell in 1993, where you people started coming together and you started playing together. And many of you were moving to Europe. You remember at that time, there was so many were just moving to Europe, settling down in their different teams. Great names, Rashidi Yakini, so many. Olise, Kanu, Siasia.
Siasia was already there.
Yes, and so on. So it was, as it is now, a lot of great individual players. You look at our team, but we didn't have a team. So we needed the space and the time to put that team together. I'm looking at the similarities between your team, how you were assembled, what happened, even with a coach that did not have solid credentials. Westerhoff did not have any credentials. We didn't even know where he came from. But somehow he had the time and the space and now the opportunity. I see the similarities. How were your own preparations in that spell?
Big Sheg, you were our team manager, and you saw the kind of trainings we had to undergo in Papendal. But before then, like
exactly. You had Papendal. You had time in Papendal to come together. They don't have time now.
Yes, there was no time. There was time in our time. Okay, let me use that. There was time in our time. The time we had was that, the team behind the team, the government, the NFF, and co, they were able to set up a camp in Europe at a point.
Very good.
So there was training schedule. JJ would drive in, Olise would drive in, a whole lot of them would drive in to Papendal. We play friendly games, we play matches, we train sometimes 4 or 5 times a day, and then they go back to their bases. And so there was time to gel the team, even as short as it was. But even before going to the World Cup, even before going to Papendal, in Nigeria, we also set up a camp. Consistently, there was a camp in Obasanjo Farms, if I remember properly. So the home base was set there, and then people come in and go out, and the training was consistent. So there is this psychological feeling that, yes, a camp is there. The Eagles are being groomed. Preparation was going on. And let me tell you, Westerhoff may not have been the best of coaches. He achieved because he had this power, this political will from somewhere that he was able to talk to the vice president of this country, Aikomu. And so what the team needed was given to the team. You remember, when we want to play a game and we said appearance fee is $3,000, may so rest in peace, Big Boss Keshi, test Westerhoff. Westerhoff goes up, brings the money down. And what do players need most? They need the cash and the fact that they need to achieve something. So the money was coming and the games were going well and people were eager to perform and play. That was just the biggest difference. So this time now we had all our players coming from Europe. If only we can set up a camp in Europe. But time is not of essence, is it? Too many games are being played in Europe now. So it is going to be very difficult thing to cage one player who has been given so much money in a contract to go and stay in his camp and go back, except for the breaks, the qualifier breaks. That is the only difference.
Very good.
Believing that something good will come out of this one, because I see a lot of young crop of players who you see them individually very strong. So let us just find a way to bond them together and throw the carrot again that, look, this is the only time you have to make a World Cup team and do well.
Very good. You see, even if without a camp, what I see is that, of late we have been playing a series of matches. We've been playing many matches, and these matches, from match to match, you are discovering your team, your players. They are getting to play and understand each other better. And take Victor Osimhen, for example. For the first time, I saw that there was a deliberate strategy to use his strengths to get goals. If you could create those opportunities for him, Victor would deliver. As you people, we are creating opportunities for Rashidi Yekini. There are so many similarities between what is going on now and what happened then. Anyway, one of what David said, Olanrewaju, which I read in your write-up, David, was that, like me, one of your major concerns is goalkeeper Nwabili. Tell us about him. You wrote about him, really. Tell us about him. What do you think about him? David.
Okay, Big Sheg. I have not been happy with Stanley for in the past few matches. He's becoming too overconfident in some of the matches. And I remember vividly the last match on Tuesday in Joe. I know the players will have been told by the coaches that we needed as many goals as possible to qualify. We needed not only to win, but we needed as many goals as possible, as at least 3 to 4 goals to qualify. And we were only leading by 2-0. And Sterling Nwabali started wasting time. He started playing pranks. I said to myself, what's the meaning of this? What's wrong with this guy? Is this? I couldn't understand what was wrong with him. And sometimes the way he handles the ball within the post sometimes makes me afraid of him. I used to like him, his performances at the last Nations Cup and so on. I said he's a good goalkeeper. This one can replace what was his name again? That are very fine goalkeeper then. That this is a very good goalkeeper, but lately he has been let me quote and unquote misbehaving in the goalpost. He has been misbehaving. And right now, if we truly want to qualify, I know we will qualify, but if we don't want to destroy our chances, right now we need an alternative. Seriously, because or we need someone, maybe the team's one of the managers of the team, physiotherapist or what they call them, to talk to him. He's becoming too overconfident. And your team needs as many goals as possible to win a match. And that's the last match. You are wasting time. Who does that on earth? Who does that? Don't need that. We need as many goals as possible. And you started wasting time. You started playing pranks in the goal post. We don't need that. I want the coach to talk to him so that he doesn't destroy our chances in the next game.
Well, Edema, I call you Edema, I call you Fuludu. Well, the two are your name. You see, I'm very excited.
My thoughts on Nwabali.
Yes, I want to ask you your thoughts about him, but let me just add my own little comment, because now we are talking technically. In one match, a goalkeeper drops 2 crosses. He drops 2 crosses in one match. For me, it just shows that he's not in shape. He's not in form. As simple as that. Anyway, your thoughts on Nwabali, and then we will talk about the young players who are coming into the team and who are making the team look different. Exactly what happened in 1993 with your group. But talk about Nwabali first.
One adjective I will use to qualify Nwabali in these last few games, Lesotho and Benin, against Benin, is complacency. The man has become complacent. I don't know what he's thinking now. I don't know what he believes he is so far. Uzoho left, he came in and he became the toast of Nigerians, and suddenly, maybe he didn't understand that we needed goals. We needed goals at this stage to get to where we wanted to get to, apart from winning. They would have equalized against Lesotho. And somebody sitting beside me was saying that this goalkeeper, they play Bet Niger. And I said, shut your mouth. You cannot be playing Bet Niger. It's a national icon.
Oh, boy.
He dropped one. He came out, they scored like that. He dropped another one again. That it was a skin of breath that we lost. We didn't draw that game against Lesotho. So for me, I think that it should be spoken to in the very good language he understands. I don't know whether he's not fit. I don't know this training schedule, but I do believe that it is complacency that has set him. And he cannot continue like that. If he wants to mount the goals for us in the next games of our qualifying, they should talk to him seriously. Before Nigerians descend on him, Nigerians, we don't forgive easily when it comes to football. So these are my thoughts on Nwabali. He should wake up from any slumber he is.
Okay, now let me provoke conversation on the new players. There's one player I don't know, David, if you saw him, if you looked at him properly, who played for Nigeria for the first time at the Super Eagles level. He was in the under-20. I didn't see much of him. And even in this last match against Benin Republic, he came in towards the end, and he didn't play well. But there was one deliberate pass that I saw. I don't remember. I think it must have been in Didi, who released him. He played from the right side of our attack. Released him, this long ball towards the outside right position. And this guy took off. His speed, I'm still going to follow up on it. I had not seen that kind of speed since Mbappe. The way the guy took off, and his name is Olakunle Olusegun. I'm just saying that Nigerians should watch out for that young man. What I saw of that guy's speed, not since Tijani Babangida have I seen such. He didn't show up properly on the day and so on and so forth. But watch out. And then, of course, there are new players coming into the team and we can see the improvement. So what do you think, David? Let's start with you, even though it's Edema that should take this on. Benedict Frederick, Calvin Bassey, the players like this coming up at this time. David, the new players, they are exciting me.
Is that new players are springing up in the Super Eagles right now. They are having new players who are doing well in the Super Eagles. Look at the guy that scored our second goal against Lesotho. Great guy too. Although he didn't really play well in his last match, but I'm happy that we are having players who can turn the fortunes of the team right now. Like the Olakunle you talked about, I saw some flashes of greatness in him in the match. So he played for a few minutes, but I think we are getting there. The Super Eagles are getting there, and the matches ahead, I know that we will triumph by the grace of God. That's my thought on
Fuludu.
Yeah.
Fuludu. Oh, yeah, over to you. Gentle giant Uche Okechukwu. I just see Sheyi Ajayi, the gentle giant. Sheyi Ajayi took care of all the area. There was not one aerial ball that went past Ajayi in that match. Not one. The Beninois wanted to use those long balls behind Trust Williams, Ekong. But they saw an Ajayi who was there. Ajayi is not so good on the ground. But in the air, like Uche Okechukwu of those days, untouchable. And to take care of the, on the ground balls, we had Ndidi, who was playing in front of the two central defense. Look, that team is coming up, and I'm so excited. Anyway, go on. What are your own thoughts? The new players, the new team, the new setup. Calvin Bassey is becoming something else in that defense.
Yes. Like your observation, I think I key with you. It's going to be something else, in as much as the team behind the team keep doing what they are doing for them as it is now. I know that player you mentioned, that is running like something else.
That is Olakunle.
Like Babangida, like
yes.
Like you, like Babangida, like Mbappe, and the rest of them. He's a fantastically strong and young chap who we believe can deliver, especially from your side of the way you are playing the right way.
Mm.
Yes, I believe that. But you see, I don't know most of these players apart from the fact that if you call Nigerians to name players now, Osimhen for sure, Chukwueze for sure, Ndidi for sure, they will name those ones that we know. But these fresh ones that are coming in now, just like in our time, yes, they will take some time to know them properly in the games they are going to play subsequently. Having Bassey, kudos to him in the last two games. The goal he scored in Lesotho was wonderfully fantastic. For me, it was the icing in whatever we were doing in that match. He went all out. He flew. He literally flew with wings to get that goal. I'm saying that this team will gel if only we have the time. And I keep emphasizing it. The team behind the team needs to do what they are doing now that they were not doing before, so that these boys can always come to the party. Yes, we are going to have a fantastically good team at the end of the day.
Okay, well, we'll be going on a short break. I'm just eager to put out my own thoughts out there, because what I saw in that last match was just reminding me of Edema Fuludu and all that your group. You people who are playing, you are not seeing yourselves. I was there. I was with you guys. I was seeing what you people are doing. And what I'm seeing happening now is similar to that thing. I see, they try to look Odare and Victor Osimhen. No, that is not the answer. You see, the answer is in creating space for Osimhen to be able to, and playing according to his own strengths, which we saw part of during that match. Can you imagine a Demola Lookman on the left of our attack? Because he is a right-footed player that plays from the left of the attack. You have a Victor Osimhen in the middle. You have that Olakunle guy on the right, or even Chukwueze on the right. And then you have, oh boy, this team is coming up. People should watch out. People should
There's this Aroko Dare also.
Yes.
That is also booming already.
That guy is a fantastic sub for Osimhen. That guy,
exactly.
That guy would, when we are in difficulty, he's the guy who can come and rescue. He was what Siasia was to Rashidi at a point.
To Rashidi Yakini.
At a point.
Yes.
You guys are so. I hear the calls are just coming in. They are coming in. I want us to go on a break before we take the calls. But let me just take this one and then we'll go on a break and then come back and continue with our conversation. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, so who are you? Where are you calling from?
Joseph from Ajegula.
Okay, Joseph. Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
No. Eti Messi was not part of that team.
Okay, sir. And also, I was talking about they're making measures of super top. There's another guy that just come, that Sevilla guy, Marcos. That guy also, they should give him a chance, and that guy will win. So, and I want to ask, after the continental playoff, where are we going to pick next? Is it a European country or a Eastern country, sir?
Okay, you are talking of the playoffs. Okay, just let us go on our break. When we come back, Fuludu and David will take us through those playoffs because we now have to start to look at what happens. First phase of the playoffs. Then we have the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Then we have the second playoffs and how all of those will affect how we perform in the World Cup when we get there. After the break.
Shagway is really an artist these days. He's untouchable in that right flank. Shagway is still going, and it's in the net. It is in the net. Goal number 3. Incredible.
Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The best sports.
It's lights out and away we go. Sebastian Vettel gets a flyer ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He's out too. I don't think he's getting up. He's done the left hand. Come on, get up.
The best station. The best for you. Eagle 7 Sports Radio. Fly with us.
I am Peter Rufa, aka Dodo Mayana. You are listening to Eagle 7 Sports Radio, 103.7 FM.
Yes, welcome back. Now let us look. What gives me hope that Nigeria is going to do well in the World Cup? You know, I have not even said how we are going to qualify. What gives me hope that Nigeria is going to do well in the World Cup is now the series of matches and competitions we are going to be playing. Long and torturous. But when we navigate through them successfully and we get to that World Cup, that team is going to blow the world. Anyway, David, take us through the process, the journey, slowly, so that people can understand properly how we are going to get to that World Cup and maybe beyond. If you know it, go on. David, hello, are you there?
We are going to play Gabon in a neutral ground in Morocco. We are going to play Gabon. And it's a one-leg match, only one match. And what I've been told about these Eagles is that they've learned their mistakes. They've learned their mistakes. If not, they would have won 4-0 against Benin Republic on Tuesday. They've learned their mistakes. I'm sure, I'm confident that they will beat Gabon. My only worry now in the Eagles right now, in the Super Eagles right now, is the goalkeeping section, which is handled by Stanley Nwabali. That's my only worry. If you look at the last match against the Republic very well, you will see that the defense of the Super Eagles is better now than what we used to have in the previous matches. You study very well, you see that the defense of the Super Eagles is better now. And what made the difference? I told a lot of people.
We have lost him there. Wi-Fi challenge. So let me go to Fuludu straight away, and then we come back to you, David. Fuludu, are you there?
Am I still on? I told a lot of people.
Okay, go on.
William is aging, and we should not say because he's the team's captain that we should keep putting him in the team. You remember during the days of Rashidi Yekin and Edema Fuludu in 93, 94. The team captain then, who was even the most influential player in the team then.
Well, we don't have stable Wi-Fi. Edema, are you there? You are muted.
I am here with you.
When it was dropped, hello. When it was dropped for the last match, we had peace in that defense.
Okay, what we can do, if you can hear me, what we can do, David, you can switch off your video. David, for the time being, switch off your video. David, if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, switch off your video. Switch off your video. And then let us hear your voice. Your voice will come through. Switch off the video, if you can. Hello. You know, because it's not steady. We have Wi-Fi challenges. The network bandwidth is low. So if you switch off your video, we'll be able to hear you clearly.
Okay, sir. Let me do that right away.
Yes, and then you continue. Okay, try. Let's try now. If we can't, we just go to Fuludu. Let's try and hear you again. But now I want you to talk about the process. Actually, we finish with Gabon. Then what happens next? Then what happens next? Then what happens next? So that people can have a clear understanding of the journey we are embarking on to get to the World Cup. Hello, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, let's go on the journey itself. You said we're going to play Gabon, and you think we are going to beat Gabon. After playing Gabon, what happens next? It's likely we play either of two teams. Then after that, what happens? Then, because after that, we are going to Morocco. So what happens with Morocco? How will that impact on us? And after that, again, we go to the second phase of the continental playoffs again. I want you to take us through it technically so that we can understand how we are going to get to the World Cup and do well?
Yes, like I was saying, we start with the match in Morocco against Gabon.
Yes.
After the match, then we will move to the next match between the winner between Cameroon and Congo DR. We don't know who we play yet. Then we move to Asia, some countries in Asia or Oceania. Then the last match maybe against the South American team, I think Bolivia or something. These 4 matches, the first 2 will come up in November. And that's what I think we should focus on right now. The first 2 matches we are playing is in Africa, is in Morocco, and it's coming up next month. There's no more time. The preparation to start right now. And I believe that this, having learned their lessons, having escaped death, the Super Eagles will try again. First against Gabon, then against the winner of the match between Cameroon and Congo DR. They will take the match very seriously. Now, they know within themselves that they can score goals now. Having scored 4 goals in the last match, their confidence is back. They have been rejuvenated right now, and they will not leave anything to chances again. I believe the Super Eagles will win the 2 matches in Africa so that they can move to the next one outside Africa and qualify for the World Cup. That's my belief.
Okay, Edema Fuludu was there and the setup now is similar to the setup when they went to the first World Cup in 1994, because buried between the qualifications was AFCON. AFCON, the games of AFCON was what lifted the Super Eagles to the World Cup of 1994. And that's exactly what is going to happen now, because we are thinking of the World Cup. We are not thinking of the effect of going to Morocco in January for the AFCON. Remember, we are going to Morocco for the AFCON, and we are going to play a whole series of matches. By the time we finish with AFCON, that Super Eagles team will be ready to take on phase 2. That's how I wanted people to see the graduation. They will not be able to take on the phase 2 in March of next year. So we are going to have a Super Eagles team that will be playing high-level matches. They will be training. There will be short camps. That team is going to build up. Fuludu, remind us what happened in 1993 again, in the steps that I've just taken, the combination between African Nations Cup and the World Cup, and the camping and all of that.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, you know that in our game, in our preparations, before we went to Papenda, or Faroe Islands in Portugal, the team had already qualified. So there's a difference. However, the similarity is that we went to the Nations Cup having prepared so well to go to the Nations Cup. And in the Nations Cup proper, the matches that we used, to have a more cohesive team, a team that was fit going into the World Cup. Match fitness, as you are very much aware, differs from training fitness. So the high-level matches we play, the fitness attached to it, especially in the games proper, did a lot of good to us, a whole lot of good to that team. And so this team itself now, if we, like David said, one match at a time, if we play against Gabon, which we sincerely hope we will defeat, hands down. If we beat Gabon and play the winner between Cameroon and DR Congo, then we are set to get into absolute fitness, because matches will be played, friendlies will be played before the Nations Cup, and the Nations Cup proper training, the camp will be set. And if we do all the trainings involved in Nations Cup training and the matches, the friendlies that we'll play, then going to the Nations Cup, you will see a very fit and good Super Eagles ready for match. and then the World Cup proper. So one step at a time. I believe that if we take this step and we get it right, the next steps will become very easy because boys will have been together, teamwork, bonding, and then we have known who and who is actually ready for the World Cup. That's what we are saying.
Fuludu.
At that time, Nigerians will also have known all the names completely.
Very good.
I mean, to just say that I can reel out the names, the first 20 or the first 18 names that will go to the World Cup. And that will be very good for the team.
Okay, we are all talking World Cup. But you know, before the World Cup, we have the Nations Cup. Help us project. We have a prophet in the house who has been prophesying about the World Cup. The man appears to be running away from AFCON. So before I ask him, you Fuludu, tell me, you know, maybe you haven't been thinking about it, but the AFCON of 2026 is in Morocco. How do you think? We got to the finals of the last one, no? With a team that is probably not as good as this present year. How do you think we will fare at the Nations Cup?
You know that sometimes football is not 2 plus 2. It is only in binary numbers, say 1 plus 1 equals to 10. So until we get there, nobody can really say. The groupings will be done. We will now make predictions. But I do know that if we carry this kind of momentum we have now to go into the Nations Cup, we'll have a team that will be able to deliver. And I'm sure we are in North Africa again. We like winning very well from there. Tunisia to Morocco. Yes, I have absolute confidence that we can just have a very, very good result coming out of Morocco. And that will ginger the team going to the World Cup proper.
Prophet David Olanrewaju, doctor, editor. Okay, now look into your crystal ball. Or are all your powers limited to the World Cup? Look into your crystal ball for us. AFCON 2026.
Yes. Well, my opinion is this. I don't want us to be talking about the Nations Cup right now. To me, the World Cup is more important to us. And we have 2 matches in November. The Nations Cup is in December. Those 2 matches in November are very, very important to us more than Nations Cup right now. We've got to win those 2 matches first. Of course, like a popular Nigerian magazine used to write in those days that the Nations Cup is Nigeria's best right, but not winning rights. Best rights, but not winning rights. We always qualify for the Nations Cup, and sometimes we always play in the final, we don't win. I don't know what is causing that, or what have been causing that. Like the last Nations Cup in Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire was already out of the competition. Côte d'Ivoire was already out of them. They got to the final and they had to beat off. We that have been performing very well all through the competition. Côte d'Ivoire, how did it happen? Nobody would answer. So I don't want us to talk about, personally, I don't feel like talking about the Nations Cup in Morocco right now. My primary aim right now is how the Super Eagles can win those 2 matches in Morocco. Those 2 World Cup qualifying matches against Gabon, then against the winner between DR Congo and Cameroon. Now, when we win those 2 matches, then we can now focus on what we are going to do at the Nations Cup. And let me quickly also chip in. Many people told me when they saw my writings in national dailies and so many people called me, people I don't even know from Adam. They called me, they talked to me, they said, this team has not been playing fine, they don't like their style of football, they don't play like the Super Eagles of 1993, 1994. And I told them that qualifying for the World Cup has always been difficult for Nigeria. Even during your time, Big Share, qualifying for the nation, there was a time that you had only 1 match to play to qualify for the World Cup. 1978 World Cup in Argentina. And you play at the National Stadium in Lagos, and Tunisia beat you 1-0, and they went to the World Cup. Despite the fact that you had some of the best assemblage of players then, Christian Chukwu, Sheikh Modegbami, Mudalawal, Felix, and so on and so forth. Nigeria could not qualify. In our background at the National Stadium, where we used to beat so many teams. We could not qualify. That was 1978. 1982, we could not qualify again after winning the Nations Cup spectacularly, beating Algeria 3-0 in the final. You, Dr. Odegba, scoring 2 goals. Then the same Algeria prevented us from going to Espana 82. Qualifying for the World Cup has always been difficult for Nigeria, no matter the stars in the team. In 1994, that people are now talking about, they are the best set of Super Eagles players ever, the best assemblage of Super Eagles ever, the best this, the best that. People are forgetting that to qualify for USA 94, I watched it on Friday, October 8, 1993. Friday, October 8, 1993, Nigeria qualified for the World Cup for the first time. And it was very difficult. My heart on that day was in my mouth. I remember very well. Not just, we went to Algeria to play. We went to Algeria to play Algeria. And that was the last match. If we had lost that match, Cote d'Ivoire would have qualified ahead of us for USA 94. So we needed a draw of any form or a win, either a draw or a win. And we saw end in that match. We saw my heart was in my mouth because I nearly collapsed. So if the set of 93, 94, which people always say are the best set of Super Eagles players ever, could add that experience, then why are we saying that the current Super Eagles are not good, they are not fantastic, and we have 2 consecutive African football of the best players in Africa in their midst? Even when we had the likes of Rashidi Yeki, Rashidi has not even won the African Footballer of the Year when we qualified for the World Cup then. But in 1993, when Nigeria qualified for US 94, the last match, even the other matches before we got to the last match, the matches we played at the National Stadium against Cote d'Ivoire, I had my heart also in my mouth in that match, although we won 4-1. But Cote d'Ivoire really gave us head. The previous match before that one, the one against Algeria at the National Stadium, Algeria scored within 5 minutes. Who was this guy? Tasfal. He scored within 5 minutes. Okocha had to rescue us by scoring a fantastic free kick to make it 1-1. Then Rashidi Yekini went on fire and scored 2 more goals. And Amokachi added another one so that we could win 4-1. So qualifying for the World Cup has always been difficult for the Super Eagles. It has not always been easy. So we should not berate this team or charge them and say they are hopeless, they are useless, they are not good, they are not fantastic, they are this, they are that. They are playing like pregnant men.
Nobody has said so anyway, and nobody can say so. Nobody has said so, and nobody can say so. And the World Cup it can never be easy.
A lot of people,
the World Cup can never be easy.
This team is not good. I listen to people.
No, the team has not been playing well. It's not about whether they are good or not.
I've been receiving some feedback on my writings in the National Daily. People, because my phone numbers, my email address are there. So people give me feedback. They say, why am I supporting this team? This team is not good. They are not playing like the class of 94. But most of these people who are saying this have forgotten that even the class of 94 did not have it rosy. They had difficult times qualifying. That's why I gave the example of USA 94. Nigeria had a very difficult time qualifying for USA 94. It was not easy. That match that took us to USA 94, the 1-1 draw we had against Algeria in Algiers, was one of the most difficult matches the Super Eagles have ever played, because Algeria wanted to beat us. in that match, and they were already out of contention. If Algeria had beaten us, Algeria will not go to the World Cup. But our rival, maybe because Cordoba speak their Franca Lingua is French, Algeria, they also speak French. Maybe there could be a collaboration. I don't know. I'm just saying that.
Okay.
But Algeria actually wanted to beat us in that match. And it was only God that saved us. It was only God that saved us.
Okay. All right, Dr. Olanrewaju.
For us,
okay.
For the World Cup.
All right,
and it has never been easy for anybody qualifying for the World Cup, apart from this Northern African team that will take you to a very cold stadium. You freeze in their stadium and they'll be beating their opponent, blue, black, blah, blah, and so on. That's why you've seen about 4 North African countries already qualified. 4 North African countries, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, Morocco, already in the World Cup.
Yeah, well,
so
they are very consistent teams. You see, they are very consistent teams. Their local leagues are running well, and so on and so forth. No, there are so many reasons why they are doing better than us. But anyway, this is Eagle 7 Sports Radio. We've just been talking and talking. We're reaching you all the way from Wasimi in Ogun State. And my guests are David Olanrewaju and Edema Fuludu. And I think we'll be going on a short break. No, don't let's go on. Let's just go on. My question now is about Eric Shell. But now people can call. Don't forget, you can call now and be part of the conversation till the end. 0700 22 55 1037 or 081 27 82 8497. You can call us and be part of the conversation. Eric Chell, Edema Fuludu, Eric Chell, how have you rated him? How well has he performed? But before you answer that question, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
How are you today?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Paul Albert. I'm calling from Papa.
Paul Albert. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, for Olanrewaju is analyzed. You understand? I like it because some people are taking this World Cup as a small something. They don't know. Everybody wants to know World Cup. For our team, we have a big work because we are talking about the Gabon. Because if we eventually Cameroon beat Congo DR, you understand? The very big another work that affects us. You know, because Cameroon is not a small country. If you look at their players now, they are growing up like our own players. Although we have good players, but how can we make it? That is another question that we ask ourselves. To pass Cameroon. Okay, after we pass Cameroon, are we going to meet Bolivia? Because Bolivia is not is an South American country, which they are very tough. Apart they didn't qualify directly. You understand me? So we have a big one to face now, which our players are supposed to know. We're supposed to know that, yes, we have already got the ticket of playoffs. Then, after playing off, what are we going to do to face the other countries that are present? How are we preparing to beat all these people and get the ticket of World Cup? You understand me? Please, I want to ask you something because we are arguing this thing yesterday. We have Shegu Ndegani and we have Wale Ndegani. I don't know whether they are family or not. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, Paulo. Wale is my younger brother. Wale is my younger brother. Now, the same mother, the same papa, and I'm bonus. So I think that answers your other question. But yes, the World Cup is going to be very challenging to qualify. But unlike most others, I think that AFCON is what will give us the ticket to the World Cup. After AFCON, after playing AFCON and playing it well, we will have a solid team that can take on Bolivia. As most people are afraid, yes, Bolivia is, runners-up in the South American bloc and so on. They are a big team, but we will deal with them. I have a feeling we will deal with them. when our team is ready. So I was asking Edema, Eric Chell, the coach, we have all been silent about that coach. What are your thoughts on him?
Big check. As discussed before, I will be if I go to Eric Chell, I will have to seek your permission again because my cousin who we lost, we are laying to rest.
Oh, okay.
And we are close to that point.
Yes, okay. So just finish that and go. You can round off. Finish what you are doing and go.
Give or take, a lot of us, including myself, did not support the hiring of Eric Chell. And like in our era of Western Hope and Co, it was not coach doing actually. But credit must be given to him. The 6 games he has played, he's gotten 4 over 6, and that's incredibly a good one for him. So, with the kind of motivation the team is having now, I think let's all join us to motivate him, and so that I can carry on the work and see us going to the Nations Cup eventually. But your assumption has always been that we will get to the Nations Cup and prepare for the World Cup proper. But that last caller said, we need to cross the hurdles first too. We need to cross the hurdles first. And that's why I'm saying we'll take it one at a time. But immediately we are able to, eliminate our opponents in the African zone, then we're sure that Nations Cup will do all a whole lot of. But Eric Chell has to stay. He has achieved what he was wanting to achieve in terms of, getting us almost to the qualification.
Edema, thank you. You know the confidence I have. Cameroon are not a strong team anymore. Congo DR are not compared to us. So me, I have no fears about getting past those 2 teams. I have no fears. I'm telling you, we are going to do well. We are going to go past them, and then we will go to the Nations Cup and do well. That Nations Cup for me is the answer. That is the answer. That's where we are going to have time to train together, to discover our players, to play together. Tough matches throughout that Nations Cup. And when we finish, then we go to the second phase of that World Cup playoffs. Anyway, Edema, salute your people there who accept our sincere condolences, and we pray for the repose of the soul of your brother, or is it your cousin?
My cousin, my first cousin.
Your cousin. Accept our condolences. So, and have a good day. Thank you very much for joining us today, Edema Fuludu. Have a great day. And well done for all the work you are doing for Nigerian football.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. So, David, your own thoughts on Eric Chell. I have given my own. And then, of course, we are still expecting a few more calls before we round off this morning's show. But your thoughts on Eric Chell?
Well, I've never been a fan of Eric Chell. But the last match he won, well, we just pray that he continue like that. I've never been his fan because I've berated him in many national newspapers as one of the causes of the failures of the Super Eagles so far. But let's see what he can do against Gabon next month. Then I will be able to give my judgment on it. Although, if you look at the last 2 matches, he played a crucial role. Eric Chell played a crucial role in us winning those 2 matches. The substitutions he made against Lesotho, then against Benin Republic, yes. I think he's coming up. Let's support him. Let's support the team. And I believe by next month we should have won those 2 matches against those 2 African countries.
Very good.
I also want to chip in this.
Yes.
Edema Fuludu is someone I love so much. He scored one of the most beautiful goals ever to be scored at the National Stadium when he dribbled like 4 people before putting the ball into the net. He was a fantastic player. I love him so much.
Well, thank you very much. Edema Fuludu was a great player. Unfortunately, he couldn't go to the World Cup then. And
yes, he was at Tunisia before. Yes.
Yeah, that was
as a sub,
yes. Yes, and that's a story that he would tell one day himself. Because I know about it, and it would be better told by himself. But he was a great player. His contributions towards the Super Eagles, particularly en route the USA '94, was incredible. Was a great midfield player. So we're expecting the last caller for today. The last call, 0700 2255 1037 or 081 27 82 8497. Let's take this caller. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Who are we speaking with?
Paul Abad, calling back.
Okay.
Papa.
From Papa.
I want to talk about our keeper. You understand? We can remember when we are playing for Olympic qualifiers. This guy is on the coast that time. Emmanuel Babayane. So when we found out that the guy is not perfect like that, you understand? They change the mind. They tried this, and those who reach the Olympic and this time is one of the best keepers Nigeria has. You understand? So if this guy is doing too much confidence and doing a mistake in his own confidence, we have others that are following the path. So we can try all those ones. Thank you very much. That's my own contribution.
Thank you, Brother Paul from Papa, saying that Emmanuel Babayaro was replaced when he wasn't doing well at the time, going to the Olympic Games. That was the Olympic Games. And that Wabili should also be replaced. Well, that's up to Eric Shell. So it is Eagle 7 Sports Radio 103.7, 90 minutes with mathematical. We're taking our last caller. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, sir? What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Original Golden, sir. I'm calling from Abeokuta.
Oga Goldie, good morning.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, sir.
I never see you, but your name is big in my radio station. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good.
So what now? My answer is that God has already destined. God has already orchestrated. It's divinely in my part that we are going to the World Cup. What is not on our hand? God has already designed it.
So you and David go to the same church, eh?
Definitely. If we watch out how everything, my part, everything just go in line. You know that God's hand is everything. That's why when Maradona has called he said hand of God. The hand of God is in this thing we're doing. It's not, nobody can claim the credit that is the one. Even we didn't see it for me. Okay, let us give the sequence. In the qualifying, up to this moment, we are nowhere. Even if we came second in that qualifying series, we wouldn't have qualified because talking about another the other teams, other countries, they are ahead of us in the goal distance. Some have 20-something points, some have 18 and 19. We have 17, although it was reduced. But God made it in a way that this country that tomorrow or something like that have problems. They have to deduct points. Instead of deducting 3 points, they deduct 2 points from 2 points from our own. That's why I see the person that face people, they are crying. Because if we said that they are ahead of us in points, we'll have only 15 that time. Some have 18, 20, 19. That's why I say that God is hand. Even though that's the South African game against Lesotho, it's not God's hand. That's the set they took by it. It was almost good. It's good. It's confirmed good. But God did it the way He invited it. It was not good. And I think they scored 2-2. That would have been the end of the whole thing. Okay, look at the Osimhen. He scored hat-trick. This guy from nowhere scored the last goal, making it 4. If he didn't score that one goal, we wouldn't have think of going to them where we are going now. That's why I say God has mapped everything. And this is the first time we are talking about playoff. God has designed this playoff for us to go through it and qualify. If not playoff, we don't have qualified. We would have been where we are today. That's why I'm making my own decision that God has mapped out this route for us to go and qualify. So everything is centered on God, and definitely we are going to work out. Nothing will stop us because God stands in it. That's my contribution. Thank you, sir.
Pastor Goldin, well done. Well done. Well, I hope that everybody has your kind of faith, but at the end of the day, people have to go out there and play and work hard and score goals and qualify. I don't know if God supports any team like that. I don't know. Yeah, so, well, we have come to the end of this show. I give Dr. David Olanrewaju the opportunity to now wrap up this morning's show. Tell us your final thoughts. And yes, and then we'll all say goodbye for the day. Your final thoughts.
Yes,
your message for Nigeria.
My final thought is like I've always been saying, let's support this team. Let's do everything within our power to support them so that Nigeria's flag can be hoisted at the World Cup next year. We have everything within us. We have the players, resources, everything to make us qualify for the World Cup. This team needs our support. It needs our encouragement, and let's give it to them so that by the next month we should be celebrating that we've conquered Africa, and we can now move to the next level. By the grace of God, I still have the belief that the Super Eagles will qualify for the World Cup. I personally saw them at the World Cup in my dream, and all my dreams always come to pass. I saw the Super Eagles play at the World Cup, and that was the reason why I came out and said that this team will qualify for the World Cup. And I was not even thinking about them qualifying through the playoffs. I was saying that they will qualify automatically. But now that they are going through the playoffs, let's also support them. Like the last caller just said, it took the hand of God for the Eagles to have gotten to the stage they are right now. The match against Lesotho, if that goal had been scored, that error made by standing one body and one defender, if that goal had went in, then this quarter would not have been happening right now because we would have been out already. But the ball didn't go in, God saved us. Then the last match against Benin Republic, if we had won like 2-0, we would not be saying what we are saying now. We would have been out. But like that scholar said, the hand of God is in this team. Let us also put our hands on the team so that Nigeria's name will be among the names of countries that will be at the next World Cup next year. The World Cup is the biggest soccer show on earth, and Nigeria not participating for 2 consecutive editions is a calamity. We should not let it happen. I don't know whether you hear recently about the money FIFA will give countries that qualified alone, just for qualification alone. The money is enormous. Why should we miss it? We are not talking about playing up in the World Cup. Just that we have qualified alone, FIFA is going to do something for each country that qualified. So let us support this Super Eagles, and I believe very strongly that by the grace of God, we will qualify for the World Cup. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. David Olanrewaju, the editor of Our Moments newspapers. We look forward to hosting you again in March of 2026, when your prophecy, your dream, you said you saw them, your dream would come to pass, and everybody will hail you as the dreamer. They will change your name from David to Joseph.
Incidentally, I have a brother named Joseph.
Okay, so both of you will be bearing the same name. Anyway, that's it.
No, he will be named David now. I will now be called Joseph.
Joseph the dreamer. Yes, well, football will not stop being the beautiful game. And it is beautiful because it is totally unpredictable. You know, it doesn't follow any spiritual or technical or whatever pattern. No matter what anybody says, at the end of the day, the game rules. You know, I have experienced, you know, these predictions in so many ways through my life and through my career. And I know that at the end of the day, it is the best team that wins. It is the most favored team that wins. It is the team that prepares the best, the team that has the best players, has the best pattern, has all of those things that win. That even those that's why India, in those days, they told us that if there was magic, India would have won the World Cup. So with all the magic in India we used to see in films, they never could win the World Cup. Anyway, we are one with you, David Olanrewaju, in your dream and in your hopes and in your prayers. And as Nigerians, we are patriotic citizens. We want our country to go to the World Cup and to do very well, if possibly to win it. That is our dream. That is our hope. And we leave that in the hands of the creator of the universe. It's been wonderful this morning. I thank Edema Fuludu. I thank David Olanrewaju for joining me for today's show and all those that called on the show. Join us again next week, Saturday, when we bring you another topic. It won't be football, I tell you. We've had too many conversations on football. There's so many things happening around the world that we need to look at also. Until then, bye for now.
Your one-stop sports entertainment radio station for all your information, news, and entertainment.